A new legend in the making. The film opens with a roaring car chase across Georgia highways. A black Pontiac Trans Am, a modernized version of the one driven by Bandit Darville, races against a swarm of police cruisers. The driver? Jack Darville, Beau's nephew, who inherited his uncle's charm, wit, and reckless driving skills. Jack evades the cops with style, performing hair-raising stunts before escaping onto a back road. The scene establishes Jack as a modern-day outlaw, living in the shadow of his famous uncle's legend. Sheriff Earl Buford Justice Jr., son of the late Sheriff Buford T. Justice, is introduced. Unlike his blundering father, Earl is slick, intelligent, and uses modern tools, drones, AI traffic systems, and highway cameras to hunt criminals. But deep down, he has the same obsessive grudge against the Darville family. When he learns that Jack is active in the region, he makes it his mission to finally end the Bandit name once and for all. At a clandestine underground racing meet, Jack is approached by Victor Kane, a ruthless businessman with ties to smuggling and gambling. Kane offers Jack a near-impossible challenge: transport a truckload of rare vintage whiskey barrels from Georgia to Texas within 24 hours, across multiple heavily patrolled state lines. If Jack succeeds, he earns millions. If he fails, Kane will not only ruin Jack's reputation, but frame him for federal crimes. Jack reluctantly agrees, knowing this is his shot at making his own name. Realizing he can't succeed alone, Jack begins assembling a crew. Lila, a sharp-tongued hacker who can jam police scanners, hack drones, and reroute GPS tracking. Tex, Jack's loyal trucker friend who will run a decoy semi-truck filled with fake barrels. Samantha, Sam Reynolds, a fearless stunt driver who has a personal grudge against corrupt law enforcement. Sam becomes Jack's partner in the Trans Am, providing both backup and witty banter. Together, they form a modern version of the Bandit's crew. Jack restores his uncle's 1977 Pontiac Trans Am, adding stealth modifications, hidden turbo systems, bulletproof panels, and high-tech counter-surveillance gear. A montage shows Jack and his crew working on the car, welding, tuning engines, testing gadgets, while Jack proudly calls it the new Bandit machine. The car is treated like a character itself, blending nostalgia with futuristic upgrades. The mission begins. Jack and Sam hit the highway in the Trans Am, while Tex drives the decoy rig. Sheriff Earl immediately catches wind of the operation, setting up roadblocks and sending out patrols. Jack cleverly splits from Tex, tricking the police into chasing the wrong truck. The first big chase showcases Jack's playful trickster nature, cutting across farms, sliding under semi-trailers, and weaving through traffic. Smokey is already furious. In true Smokey and the Bandit fashion, comedy and chaos ensue. Jack disguises the Trans Am with a magnetic rideshare sign and picks up confused passengers who panic when they realize they're in the middle of a high-speed pursuit. Meanwhile, Sam teases Jack's reckless driving while also proving her own skills behind the wheel. Sheriff Earl's frustration grows as he constantly falls for Jack's tricks. Needing a pit stop, Jack and Sam pull into a roadside biker bar. But Kane's hired goons are already waiting to sabotage them. A barroom brawl erupts, filled with comedic punches, pool cues, and beer bottles flying everywhere. Jack and Sam barely escape, jumping back into the Trans Am while the goons chase them on motorcycles. Jack leads them into a swampy back road, sending the bikers crashing into the mud. Sheriff Earl Justice Jr. doubles down, turning the pursuit into a personal vendetta. He sets up press conferences, calling Jack the last cockroach of the Darville dynasty. Earl's ego grows as he begins broadcasting parts of the chase live, seeking fame while trying to humiliate Jack on national television. His deputies begin to see him as more unhinged than heroic. Jack calls in favors from the southern trucking community. At midnight, dozens of truckers, bikers, and street racers join in, creating chaos on the highway. They set up rolling blockades, distract police, and run interference for the Bandit. It's a spectacular scene of camaraderie where outlaw drivers unite to help Jack, turning the mission into a full-scale underground movement. The pursuit leads to an old, half-collapsed suspension bridge. Earl thinks he's trapped Jack, but in a breathtaking stunt, Jack guns the Trans AM and makes the impossible jump across the broken span. The car barely makes it, scraping the landing, but the crowd of truckers cheer over their radios. Earl, enraged, tries the same but chickens out at the last second, much to the mockery of his deputies. During a quiet pit stop, Sam opens up to Jack. She reveals she was once a promising police officer, but was forced out when she exposed corruption in her department. Disillusioned, she turned to street racing. Her story deepens her bond with Jack, as both realize they're fighting more than just cops. They're fighting a system stacked against the little guy. Victor Kane reveals his true colors. He leaks Jack's planned route to Sheriff Earl, ensuring Jack will be captured. Kane never intended to pay Jack. Instead, he bet millions against him in the underground gambling world. Now, Jack is not only hunted by Smokey, but betrayed by the very man who set him up. Running out of time, Jack decides to take a near-suicidal shortcut through the Appalachian Mountains. Narrow dirt roads, falling rocks, and sharp cliffs test both Jack and the Trans AM to the limit. Sam's nerves are tested, but Jack's skill and the car's upgrades allow them to survive. The mountain sequence blends breathtaking visuals with tense close calls. Meanwhile, Tex is captured when his decoy truck is cornered by Smokey's men. Jack hears about it over the radio and faces a choice: abandon Tex to finish the run, or risk everything to save him. Jack chooses loyalty. In a daring side mission, Jack and Sam stage a jailbreak-like rescue, crashing through a police impound yard and freeing Texas. This cements their bond as a family-like crew. Sheriff Earl deploys his full arsenal: drones, AI-controlled roadblocks, and helicopters. Jack fights back using Lila's hacking tricks. She reroutes the drones, sending them crashing into each other, while Jack outdrives the AI patrol cars with unpredictable human ingenuity. It's a battle of technology versus instinct, with Jack proving that old-school driving skill still reigns supreme. With only an hour left, Jack and Sam race through the last stretch of highway. But Smokey is called in SWAT units and blocked every major road. Helicopters circle overhead. News outlets broadcast the chase live, and it seems impossible for Jack to win. The tension peaks as the Trans AM takes a pounding, but Jack refuses to quit. In a clever maneuver, Jack fakes a high-speed crash into an oil tanker. Flames and smoke erupt, and Smokey celebrates, believing he's finally ended the bandit's legacy. But in reality, Jack and Sam had slipped away moments earlier in a semi-truck disguised as one of the blockade rigs, with Lila behind the wheel. The real Trans AM, hidden inside the trailer, roars back to life for the last leg. Jack delivers the whiskey barrels with seconds to spare, fulfilling the bet. But Kane tries to backstab him again, sending armed men to kill Jack instead of paying him. Jack anticipated this. However, he recorded Kane's betrayal and transmits it to federal agents. Kane is arrested on the spot, and his empire collapses. Jack not only wins, but exposes Kane's corruption. The film closes with Jack and Sam driving the Trans AM down an open highway at sunset, laughing and teasing each other, just like Bo once did with his partners. Sheriff Earl sits humiliated on live TV, his drones destroyed, his career ruined. Truckers and racers across the South cheer Jack's name over the CB radio. The legacy of the Bandit lives on, with Jack vowing to keep outrunning authority and staying true to his roots. The final freeze frame mirrors the iconic ending of the original, the Trans AM soaring across the horizon.